Tonight we have an unbelievable share, something amazing that I saw. It's connected to Kidush levana, but really it's kind of connected to Tefillah B'tzibur. It's not. It's connected to a tzibur. We're going to see quite a Kidush, and I think if we reflect more upon it, we're going to see even a bigger Kidush. But it's really two different sections in the Gemara and Sanhedrin, based upon the Gemara and Sanhedrin Daf Mem Dalid. We take you now to the Mesifta, the very back of Sanhedrin. And we're going to talk about case number 2 first, then we're going to go back to case number 1. We're going to start off with the opinion of the Rambam, who says the main mitzvah of Kidush HaChodesh, Kidush levana. When's the main mitzvah? So all of us, we go to shul, and we all know we don't do it on Rosh Chodesh. Many people wait a minimal of 3 days. Other people wait a minimal of 7 days before doing Kidush levana. And those people that have that minhag, which is almost everyone, will be shocked to see the following. And there's no way to unshock you. That's the thing. You'll be shocked from beginning to end. Amar Ravasi says in the name of Yochanan, Kol hamavarech ala chodesh bizmano. Anyone who says Kidush levana in the proper time, ki'ilu mekabel pnei Shechina. It's as if you were accepted the face of the Shechina, the divine presence. So it's a very chashuv thing. It's as if you're greeting the King of Kings. It's a very important thing. It's something which weighs heavily in our merits, really. So that's something that I think might be well known, but we're going to see that the way we do Kidush levana might actually not fulfill this. Let's go weiter here. Amar Abaye says, therefore, Namir Ma'umat. Therefore, Kidush levana must be said while standing. Okay? Kidush levana, which is the bracha we make. Usually it's done on a Motzei Shabbos, a Saturday night. It's a blessing that we make about 3 to 7 to 10 days after the new moon. That blessing is said while standing. We look at the moon, then we make the blessing, we turn around, we say the Tehillim. Because of a Rambam, the Rambam writes, Maimonides writes, Tzarech levarich bracha zu me'umat. It is necessary for a person to say this blessing while standing. Shekol hamevarich ala chodesh bizmano. Because anyone who makes a blessing on the month in the proper time, ki'ilu hikbo pnei Shechina. It's as if he's greeting the divine presence. And therefore it would be a lack of respect to sit down. V'im lo birach alav b'laylo harishon. And if you don't do Kidush levana on the first night, and we're going to see the first night means Rosh Chodesh itself, yesh levarech alav ad sheyisa eser yom b'chodesh. You can make a bracha. We can make a blessing on it up until about the 10th of the month. Achi Ismali Pikamaso. So the Pikam means the part of the moon that's not shining, that's not visible to us. So until the point that that part is full, which really would be the 15th, you would be able to make a blessing. He says here the 10th. We're going to see really it could be the 15th. Mavor b'dvarav, it's explained in his words, she'ev shelavarich al halvana kodim gimel yomim. That it's possible you can make a blessing in the moon. You can do Kidush levana even before 3 days after Rosh Chodesh. We know that the minhag is to wait 3 days, but we see from here it's possible to do it before 3 days. Not only that, then only it's possible. V'adraba. On the contrary, hazman lechatchilahu lekarish miyad Rosh Chodesh. L'chatchila zman, the best time to do it is before 3 days. The best time to do it is on Rosh Chodesh itself, during the renewal. The cause of Ramosha Feinstein, the cause of B'Shayshuvas Igros Moshe, or Chaim Chelek Aleph Siman Kuf Mem Gimel, Shebedvarov, that in his word Shekosov, that he writes Kodem Es Hadin, Shetzarech Levarech Mu'umat, before the din that you need to do it while standing, the chulu, okay. The Alzeh Kosov, and on this he writes, Imlo Ra B'Layla Rishon, if you didn't see it the first night, Yivarech Ad Tezayin, you can make the bracha until the 16th, which we're going to learn means until the 16th, but it does not include the 16th. So it's through the 15th. Mashma, this implies Shesoiver that he holds Shirak im Mevarech Aleh B'Layla Rishon. Hareza nechshav ki ilu hikbo b'nei hashchina. V'tzarech levarech mu'umat. It's only, however, if you make the bracha on the first night, then it's considered as if you're greeting the Shechina, as if you're greeting Hashem HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And therefore, it's only on the first night that you need to stand while making the bracha. Avalim lo ra osa b'layla harishon, but if you do not see it on the first night, mevarech b'di'eved ad tezayin. So, b'di'eved, you have through the 15th, at the very least through the 15th. Shuvein or nechshav kvar kimekabel pnei shchina. It's no longer considered like you're greeting the shchina. But therefore, you don't say it while standing. Because of, and he writes, and we're going to assume for now it means the Igros Moshe writes. Shekain Mefarish Rambam, so it's explained in the Rambam Misdirei Sugin. The words of our Sugya, Shavadei lechatchila tzarech leishtadol lirot es levana b'tchilas chedusha b'layla harishon shel chodesh shel avarech aleh. That it's necessary to try to see the moon in the beginning of the month on the first night of the month, and to make a bracha this then. But v'rak b'di'eved, and only b'di'eved. If you didn't do it, im lo ra osa. If you didn't see it then Amar Rav Yochanan shemavarech aleh ad shetismal bikim asa. Rav Yochanan says you can make a bracha on it until either the 10th through the 15th. Shula das Rav Yehuda bezayin, which actually according to Rav Yehuda means bezayin. And you have until day 7. Huladas and Hardai betes zayin. And Hardai says you have until the 16th, which might actually mean the 15th. Well, Amru, and this we say in the Gemara, Amar Ravasi, and Rav Yochanan, Ravasi says in Rav Yochanan, Shim Zachal Levarech Bizmano, if you merit to make the bracha Bizmano, the first night, Shu B'tchilas Chadusha, in the beginning of its renewal, Harezek Ilu Makabel B'nei Shechina, it's as if you're being Makabel the Shechina, V'alzed Dafka Amar Abaya, and in regards to that, on that, specifically that, when you're saying it the first night, Abaya says, Shalachein tzarech la'oimra mu'ubad. Therefore, you need to say it while standing. V'rak b'layla rishon. Only during the first night. Because of, and he writes, I assume it's still Rav Moshe Feinstein. Shalachein therefore hishmin ha'shulchan aruch din zeh tzarech la'omra be'omid. It is for this reason that the Shulchan Aruch, the code of Jewish law, left out the law that you need to say it while standing. Why did it leave it out? Because nowadays we don't do it the first night. Sha'av she'kosav she'en l'kadsha ela la'achar zayin yomim k'dei sh'tiyah halvana b'milua. Even though it's written, we're only mekadesh levana after zayin yomim, after 7 days. We specifically wait for the b'milua, for there to be for the moon to be filled in a little bit. But even though that's what we do, but Vade Model Haramam, for sure, the Shulchan Aruch would agree to the words of the Rambam, She'ikr mitzvah, so the main mitzvah is L'kadsha, B'chidusha, B'layla Harishon. It's to be Mekadesh, the moon, in its state of renewal on the first night of Rosh Chodesh. V'zeh kodem l'ma'alas L'kadsha b'milua. Rak soiver shebizman hazeh. Why don't we do it then? Because there's no one who's able to be so medactic, to be so exact, to be mekadesh in its time of renewal, meaning it seems like when the moon is just a sliver, how are we to know for sure that we're seeing the moon? Perhaps that's one way to learn, and therefore we don't do it then. And therefore, Kavar Adif, it's best Lekadsha Achar Shiva B'milo. It's best to wait till after 7 days. Therefore, Lohatek Esadin Shetzarech Lekadsha Ummah. Therefore, the Shulchan Aruch doesn't bring the halacha that you need to do it while standing. Shedin Zehu Rak Im Mekadsha B'Chidusha B'Layla Rishon. Because this din is only if you're Mekadesh in its state of renewal on the first night. The Yesha Kasvu, and there are those that write, Shigam al pi akabala kenhu, that it's also done through Kabbalah, Shemitzvah min a muvchor lekadesh is levana Rosh chodesh, that the best way to do the mitzvah is to be Mekadesh, the moon on Rosh chodesh, she'oz hi mizchadeshes, because that is when there is a renewal. Of Orchas Chaim, Hevi Devarim Elu, he brings these words, Shekasa b'Zohar Chai, that's written in the Zohar, Umash Shekasa b'Shamor, in this, that it's written over there, Viter. Sheham minhag lahakbir al zayin yami mi esli eis, nispashet alpi sefer chamdas yam. The whole minhag, this whole custom that we have, not only to wait 7 days, but to wait 7 complete days, 7 complete 24-hour days, that has spread throughout everywhere. That happened because of the Sefer Chemdas Hayomim. And the Orchas Chaim writes, the Ein Lo Mikor B'divrei Ha'ari Zatzal. And there's no source for it in the words of the Ari. And from the words of the Ari, Nira, it appears, Sha'ap Rosh Chodesh Atzmo Efshar Lomar HaBracha. He says, even on Rosh Chodesh itself, you can make the bracha. The Ilu Hayu Yodeya B'tzi'iraso. And he writes the following unbelievable thing. He writes that even, that he says if he would have known during the time of his youth that the minhag has spread, according to the Sefer Chemdas Hayomim, if he would have known that such a minhag spread, V'lo al pi habeis Yosef, if he would have known in his youth that this minhag spread according to the Sefer Chemdas Hayomim, not according to the Beis Yosef, he would have himself been Mekadesh the month on Rosh Chodesh itself. But when he became older, he said he wasn't able to change. Like maybe to change others or to change the minhag. In the Stei Chemed, B'chutz La'aretz, Noeg Ashkenazim, he writes, in Chutz La'aretz, the minhag is like the Ashkenazim, which really means German, but V'lo hishkeach al zayin yamim mi'es le'es mishum shezrichem makdim. And one should not pay any attention to the 7-day thing, because zrizim makdimim, those that you should do the mitzvah early, because there's an inyan to be zealous about doing mitzvahs. Especially on Motzei Shabbos, to do this mitzvah on Motzei Shabbos, and especially to do it early during the winter months when it's cloudy all the time. Amna, however, after he returned to Eretz Yisrael, and he saw shekol kach adukim v'daktikim b'zeh af al chut hasa'ara im chasera halvana meshiva yamim shleimim. He saw that everybody was so careful to make sure they waited a full 7 days, 24 hours times 7, before they were Mekadesh Levana v'efshal lishnos minhagam, and it was impossible to change their minhag. V'gam im yoimer lahem, and also if he was to say to them, Masha kasab orchas chaim and iskal elo yishma, they wouldn't listen to him. It sounds like it's not that he wanted to follow the minhag. It sounds like he wanted to change the minhag, but since he saw people were so careful to follow this minhag, and he said they won't listen to him, therefore he was quiet, he didn't change anything. But if there would be a change, and people would be able to be Mekadesh the moon before 7 days, before 7 complete 24 hours, this matter would be a great simcha. He would be in great happiness because of this. Amnim HaTorah, however, the Torah and the Ramah, Kain Kasv, they write, Din Zeh Shetzarech Levarech Me'umad, this din that you need to make the Kiddush levana while standing, Afal Pi Shlo Dibro Bi Kiddush levana B'Rosh Chodesh Tafka, even though you're not doing it on Rosh Chodesh. Uvir Bigras Moshe Shehu Mishum, it's because Mefarshim, and to explain, Shemash Efshel Kadesh Levana At Tesayim B'Chodesh Ulachatchila. Because the truth is that you're able to be Mekadesh Levana until Tesayim. That's really a din Lachatchila. V'Im Kain and if so, Mekadesh Levana Bismana. One who's Mekadesh Lemun Bismana Sheki'ilu Mekabel B'nei Shechina. It's as if he's being Mekabel B'nei Shechina. Eino Dafka B'Leil Chidusha Ela B'Chol Zmana. It's not Dafka on the night of its renewal, but it's really any time. Anytime you're doing it during the first 2 weeks. So, therefore, Tamid Tzarech La'omer Me'umad, a person always has to say it while standing. That brings this one Nakuda to an end, and the other part we will do at a different time. Emir Tzashem. Good to walk, Shavot Tov. Have a wonderful week. It is right now Motzei Shabbos Parshas Miketz, and the next week's Parsha, this upcoming week, is Parshas Vayigash.